Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be talking about a book that was sent to me by an author, and that is Dissonance Reality Volume 1 by Aarron Ryan. Yes, I know the title is a bit of a mouthful. Aarron sent me an email about this book and he told me what it was about, and after I read the synopsis of what he sent me, it sounded really intriguing. And I thought, okay, it sounded really cool. Nothing that I haven't really come across in books and movies before, but it did sound interesting. And it is a sci-fi book with a little bit of horror sprinkled in. So I have filmed this video before, but it was too long and I just felt that no one was going to watch the video that long, so I thought I would film it again. So for these author request videos I do, um, I always give the author the choice to give me a clip that I can put into my videos. That way it kind of makes it a bit more personal for them. Aarron sent me a couple of links to his YouTube channel. One that is for a trailer for his book, which I forgot to mention as well, that it is going to be adapted into a TV series, or it's planning to do that. And I will also have a link down below to a interview that Aarron does on his YouTube channel. These are both links that he's sent to me, so I'll have them linked down below. So this is going to be my honest thoughts and feedback for Reality Volume 1. And this is going to be my thoughts and feelings, of course, and this is going to be a spoiler-free video. So before I got into this whole series, I knew that there was volumes 1 to 3, and there was also a prequel novel called Volume 0. So I was thinking about what one should I read first, Volume 0 or Volume 1. I asked Aarron and he said Volume 1 is the place that I should start off with. So this book revolves around a kind of the aftermath of an alien invasion. There's this group of aliens called Gorgs. That's what humans have referred to them as, or Gorgons or Gorgs, and they are kind of pack hunters. They fly around mostly at night, but it's not uncommon to see them during the day. As far as I can tell, they are blind, but they are very sensitive to sounds, and they are also very sensitive to heat and cold. So extreme weather, they don't like at all. And for some reason, they are very protective over the sea, and they don't like anyone going near the coast. And if anyone looks at a Gorgon, they instantly freeze and they cannot move and they are eaten alive. The book does go into detail about how this feels, and it's not a very pleasant experience. The victims can feel every single bite that these Gorgons take that the Gorgons take of them. So this has been happening for 16 years, I believe the book says. And in that time, I believe 85% of the world's population has been wiped out and killed. And the survivors have kind of created these fortresses, these barracks, where they use as their bases of operation, where they go out into the world when it's safe to do so, to try to scavenge for food and weapons, and probably try to look for survivors. And if they can kill the old Gorgon here and there, then that's a massive plus. But Gorgons are very violent, and people do not like to encounter them and even fight them. So avoiding them is more or less what people do. So in this story, we follow our main character called Jet, and I presume that's him on the cover of the book. So Jet, I was kind of confused about what his character was going to be, about what his character was, because he is living in this world where his parents and one of his siblings, I believe his sister, has died, and he's only got his younger brother with him in this whole world. They're living in his barracks, and I think that this has hardened him and made him very, you know, like war ready, if that's even a thing. But he can be very sensitive and loyal, and he's just very focused on the mission, because Jet's role in the barracks is basically a leader. He goes and leads these missions, and he's been adopted by the barracks captain or sergeant or whatever, called Stone, who is referred to his father, but it's not Jet's real father. He adopted Jet. There is kind of a father-son relationship there, but they both know that they're on a mission of survival, and they cannot let their feelings, come into put that in jeopardy or whatever. So for the majority of this book, it's just about Jet and these characters surviving in this cruel world and trying to coexist with these Gorgons. I guess that's probably the best way to actually put it. So one day, these two soldiers come to the barrack and come into contact with Jet. They are both a male and a female. At first, Jet thinks that the male is very cocky and doesn't take anything too seriously, and the woman he is instantly pretty much fallen head over heels in love with. So when they go out to do one of them main missions for the book, an event happens where they are in contact with one of these Gorgons that basically convinces Jet that Stone and these two individuals have been keeping valuable information from him and everyone else. Basically, they've come across a secret weapon and a way to hurt the Gorgons, because even though the Gorgons are very, very powerful, they aren't immortal. They can be hurt and they can be killed, but not a lot of people have done this. There are these artifacts in the book called amulets. Now, these amulets are described about being alien technology. They came down supposedly with these Gorgons many years ago, maybe to help them come through our atmosphere, but they have found a way of using these amulets as a weapon against the Gorgons. So just so you know what I've just mentioned about this secret weapon, these amulets aren't what I've just talked about. They're something else. These amulets, I thought it'd be kind of interesting if Aarron had this kind of like artifact in this world where people thought it was a legendary artifact. It was a myth, something that people told to their kids to keep them safe, to make them feel safe at night, saying, oh, there's this mysterious weapon that came down with these Gorgons that we can find, that we must find to help destroy them and to take back our planet and our homeland. And then the book could have been Jet and his group going on this mission to try to get one of these artifacts. But that isn't really the case in the book. The amulets are introduced right at the start. In fact, the book opens up with Jet and his brother running to the barracks, running away from one of these Gorgons with one of these amulets in their pockets. With this mission, they come across these interesting individuals, because this is a cruel world that they are in. This invasion happened about 16 years ago, and Aarron does include aspects of characters which what would actually happen if this actually occurred, how would people react? How would people, I mean, what would people do that they felt that they had to do these acts in order to survive, whether they were good or bad? And what lows would they stoop to in order to, you know, see the next sunrise and survive another day? So we do come into contact with some groups, such as this little girl living in a school, I believe it is. It's either a school or a church. I believe it's a school. And she's very traumatized. I believe she's by herself. She's very sweet, and I do hope that she comes back in the next books. We also come across this other building where it's kind of like this barracks things, but it's kind of filled with all these young teenagers and some adults trying to get by. And we also come across this old man in a church that isn't all with it upstairs. And I will say that there is a character in this book. I won't say who it is, but going back to what I said about what would people do in this situation if it really, if it really happens. And Aarron has this character in in this book where it has something very horrific that this character does in order to survive. It's very horrific and gory, and it just made a horror fan smile when I read it. And then there is a president of the United States, which is somewhere. They aren't actually in the book, but they're referred to in the book every now and then. And I won't say what happens at the end of the book, but at the end, it's implied that this president is going to be introduced to in book 2, and they are going to kick some alien ass. Because this is a alien invasion book, and they are in this very violent world with these aliens that want to kill them. Obviously, not every single character is going to come out, in one piece, or even alive and kicking. So some people do die in this book. And Jet, he does go through a character arc. Something happens in this story that convinces him that these Gorgons aren't these invincible creatures. They can be hurt and they can be killed if you are determined enough. And I think this hardens him and makes him, makes his heart a solid piece of stone. As I said, this isn't something new that I haven't read and watched before, and certainly you probably encountered something like this. But I enjoyed this story. The characters were good. Some of them I liked more than others. It does have some a love interest and kind of a romance element in there as well. There are characters which bond with each other and grow and kind of appreciate each other and become friends with each other, despite of their initial thoughts about the other person when they first met. This book can get a bit slow at times, but it's not really action packed. It is a handful of times, but the majority of the time it's just about the characters going from point A to point B and trying to survive from them 2 points. They are on these missions when they go out into the wide world, and they are trying to survive. And in order to do this, they have to try to avoid these Gorgons and try to avoid confrontation as best that they can. So I think that this book is more of a character-driven story than a plot-driven story, but they are both equal. But because it's not action-packed all the time, it does let the characters breathe when they're I mean, when you're reading about them. So, what would I rate this book? I would probably give it a 4 stars out of 5. This was a decent book, even though I haven't read many sci-fi stories. I've been trying to get into sci-fi for a while, and I was thinking that this was going to be like the book that was going to make me like a die-hard sci-fi fan. I mean, this is a more of a YA book than adult can enjoy. But with that said, if you are into sci-fi, or if you're trying to get into sci-fi, or whether what I've just said sounds interesting to you, then I would highly recommend this book. I just want to say at this point, thank you, Aarron, for sending me that email and reaching out to me and basically, yeah, taking a chance on whether I was going to like your book or not. So I just want to say thank you for reaching out to me, Aarron, and sending me this book. And yeah, it's been a very interesting riding experience. So you may be thinking to yourself, well, David, are you going to be carrying on with the series? Are you going to be readings? Are you going to be carrying on with the series? And yes, I will. Sometime next year, I will be continuing on reading the series. Not sure if I will be reading the rest of the 3 books next year, but I will do my best. Not in a super mad rush to do so, but when I am in the right frame of mind, I will pick volume 2 up. So yeah, let me know if you've read this book. Did you like it? Did you not like it? As always, have I maybe intrigued you to pick this book up? And lastly, don't forget to check out Aarron's videos. I will have both the videos down below in the description, a link to his YouTube channel and all the other contact information that he's given me down below in the description. So please do not hesitate to reach out to him. He does get back to you extremely quickly. So he's really nice, so don't be afraid to reach out. So that's been my video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.